Hi everybody, this is Gigi from Kauai Community College. In this video, I will be talking about subtraction of integers. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so we are subtracting integers. Let's get started. Suppose you have 7 minus 5. Okay, now this is something you've done before, right? So what are integers? Integers are a set of positive, negative, and 0. So you have some additional information to incorporate into it, which are the negative numbers, right? But the definition of addition would be the same, or subtraction actually. The definition of subtraction would be the same as before, meaning 7 minus 5 is blank because 5 plus blank equals 7. So in this case, if you look at the number line and start at 5, you are thinking, how do I get from 5 to 7? And that would be forward 2 units. Therefore, 5 plus 2, a positive 2, would be 7. And that tells you that our subtraction problem is that 7 minus 5 is 2, right? So that's nothing new. You've done this before, right? Now, what's new might be something like this, but the concept is still the same. For a subtraction problem, you would turn that into an addition problem and think about it as addition. So 3 minus 8 is blank because 8 plus blank is 3. So if you were on a number line starting at 8, well, how do you get the 3? You would have to slide backward 5 units. Make sense? Backward 5 units. Therefore, you would say 8 plus a negative 5 is 3. And since 8 plus a negative 5 is 3, we would say 3 minus 8 is negative 5. So rely on the definition of subtraction. Negative 3 minus 7 is blank. So that 7 plus blank is negative 3. Again, if you start at 7 and you need to end up at negative 3, you would say, how do I get from 7 to negative 3? And you will see here that we have to slide backward 10 units. So 7 plus negative 10 is negative 3. Therefore, negative 3 minus 7 is negative 10. Okay, let's try another one. 5 minus a negative 3 is blank. By definition, negative 3 plus blank is 5. Here's my number line. Starting at negative 3, I need to get to 5. How do I get there? Forward 8 units. Therefore, negative 3 plus 8 is 5. And that tells me that 5 minus a negative 3 is 8. All right, observe that. Pause and reflect if you need to. Now, negative 2 minus a negative 10. Same concept. We would say, let it be blank, so that negative 10 plus blank is negative 2. Okay, let's think about that for a second. You start at negative 10, and you need to end up at negative 2. How do you get there? Forward 8 units. So negative 10 plus 8 is negative 2. Therefore, negative 2 minus a negative 10 is 8. Use your definition of subtraction. Turn it into an addition problem and figure it out that way. Okay, suppose the numbers are kind of big like this right here. Negative 15 minus 20 is blank. How do you do that? Well, let's think about this for a second. 20 plus blank got to be negative 15, right? So if you are starting at 20, how do you get to negative 15? Well, let's get to 0 first, right? Remember, visualize that number line. I have positive numbers. That's where 20 is. And I need to get to a negative 15, which means I got to pass 0. So let's get to 0 first. Well, to get to 0, I would need that additive inverse, meaning the additive inverse of 20 is negative 20. So 20 plus a negative 20 is going to get me to 0, right? And then from 0, I will slide backward negative 15 units. And that would be negative 35. So you would say that negative 15 minus 20 is negative 35. Now, if that's too abstract, think of your number line, the positive, the negative, right? Starting at 20, where am I going to go first? Get to 0. That would be backward 20 units. And then I got to go another backward 15 units to get to negative 15. That would be backward 35 units. So that is 20 plus negative 35 is negative 15, right? So again, stop, apply the definition of subtraction, get it to an addition problem, and think addition. And that is it for today.